skateboarding changes a lot from when you're 14 years old, setting out on your skateboard, not worried about the time, not worried about getting hurt, not thinking about anything really besides the feeling of the skateboard under your feet, the sound of your wheels going across the sidewalk, the sound of your trucks on the crustiest curb you've ever seen, but you just saw your buddy 50-50 it, so you know that you can do it too. Nothing beats it, honestly. And as we get older, I don't know if it's our tendency to overthink things, to weigh out our options, etc. It kind of becomes a odd point of contention. Like, is this worth my time? Is it worth the possible injuries? Not only does the physical act of skateboarding get harder as you age, but the time you have to give to skateboarding, it doesn't become the one thing you're doing anymore. It's typically something for people like me in our 30s, even in your 20s, it can be something that you have to work into your schedule. You got 30 minutes before work, or maybe while you're running errands, if you can skate for a few minutes before you gotta go home, then the milk in the car shouldn't be curdled. You got soccer practice, maybe after you take the kids to soccer practice, when you come home, you'll have a few minutes before dinner, you can skate out here on the patio. Haircuts at 5 o'clock, it's noon now. If I go skate, I'm gonna have time to skate for roughly 2 hours. Then I have time to shower, get them ready, get them fed, then go get them to their appointment. It becomes a lot different. Trying to skate as you get older, you really have to become a master of time management. I wish that was something we could put on resumes. Mr. Wilson, what is something that you think exemplifies your excellent time management? Well, you see, I've been skateboarding for 20 years and haven't had to stop at all, and I've been able to maintain full-time jobs, a family, we got some kids at home, and my skateboarding is still improving. Albeit slowly, I'm still improving. Oh, that's amazing, sir. That's fantastic. Wow, incredible. I regret to inform you we've decided to move forward with some other candidates who better fit our qualifications. Thank you. Have a nice day. You're telling me. I think back to being like 15, 16 years old. I know ankle rolls, swelbows, shinners, they happen all the time. And I can't say that they're happening much less now that I'm 32, but rolling your ankle at my age now compared to back then is a whole different recovery process. I can remember rolling my ankle very badly when I was roughly 17 years old, trying to tray flip into this pool. Within, I think 5 or 6 days, I was skateboarding again. I was able to do tray flips again, all these kick flips without much of an issue. Ever since then though, I have had a majorly fat left ankle. It's a good like 30% bigger than my right ankle, and it's not muscle. I'll tell you that much. It is not muscle. It's calcium buildup. It's Lord knows what. It's still fairly flexible. Both of them are, but it's just really gone to show me that as you get older, you really got to take care of your injuries and really got to not necessarily measure the risk, but you need to be considerate of things that could go wrong and what you're going to do if those things do go wrong. Luckily, my last broken bone, my wrist, I was employed at the time full-time, so I had really good benefits, and I paid, I don't think, much out of pocket at all. I think I paid like a couple $100s for the broken bone, which is not bad at all. There was surgery, physical therapy, etc. that was covered by my job, which was amazing. We have really good benefits, and it was extremely helpful. I don't know how to help you, dude. I don't know how to work on switches. Try just restarting it. And that's one thing that I would like to recommend to you guys. If you break any bones and you have the option to do physical therapy, definitely do it. It's really, really important. You think that you can do it yourself, you know all the things to do, you watch YouTube, etc. No, there's people that are paid that specialize in this, in your injury. Let the professionals handle it. You are not a professional. And you know, I think one thing that goes along with injuries too is pride. A lot of the times it's pride that gets us into these situations where we're risking an injury. We think, oh yeah, I got this. I did this when I was younger, or I just saw my buddy do this and I have this trick better than him, I can do it. Pride leads to many people's downfalls, and especially in skateboarding, you really got to check yourself before the world checks you and gravity checks you, because that's not a check that you're going to pass. And you know, like I alluded to earlier, skateboarding becomes a little bit harder to fit into your schedule as you grow up. And that's like anything, like any hobby. One of the biggest things I've found that's helped me stay on my skateboard, keep the spark there, is just kind of having my skateboard with me everywhere I go. On various family trips, I'll bring it with me. Sometimes I won't get it out more than once. Sometimes it'll just be a 5-10 minute session in the parking lot of the hotel, wherever we're staying. It's not always a big marathon session battling a trick. A lot of the times it's just stepping on my board, doing some of the basics, throwing a few no-comply tricks, some flat ground kick flips, tray flips, whatever, just getting that feeling, just feeling that connection to my board, being connected to something outside of myself, outside of whatever's going on in my head at the time. Priorities change, and your skateboarding is going to change along with those. One thing too that I think took me a little bit longer than it should have to realize is that family, friends, colleagues, your relationships, those are much more important than your skateboard. As hard as that is to say, as much as that's a difficult pill to swallow and not something that I've always so strictly followed, it's something that I've come to realize. Your skateboard's always going to be there, but friends and family, those moments are worth far more than your skateboard. Do I really need to go to the skate park right now, spend half an hour there? The kids are home, they haven't started school yet. Maybe I could spend this time with them at the park. We could play a board game, play some Mario. There's a lot of things that can be done. On my days off, maybe there's some time to go skate. The weather's kind of nice, but hey, you know what? Haven't seen my dad in a while. Haven't talked to my mom. My uncle was saying he wants to go out for lunch. Let's do that. There's so many things in your life, so many opportunities that are going to come and pass you by. And if skateboarding was your excuse for not making time to go see your relatives, years down the road they're gone and you're looking back at it thinking, wow, there were a lot of times where I could have gone and spent some time with my grandma before she passed. Tons of times where I could have hung out with my buddy before he shipped off to Iraq. There's tons of moments in your life where you're going to have to make a decision, and I urge you, not always, to choose your friends, your relationships over skateboarding, but it should be over half the time. Your skateboard's always going to be there, like I said. It's going to be there. You're not going to lose your tricks because you take a few days off from skateboarding, even a couple weeks. A lot of pro skaters in interviews have said that the more time they take off from skateboarding, the better they feel when they get back on. For me, that sweet spot is about 4 or 5 days, and then when I step back on the board, I'm feeling good. My ankles, my knees, they're not creaky, they're not feeling rigid. If I'm able to get my exercise in on the days that I don't skate, then by the time I step back on my skateboard, I'm feeling fantastic. I'm refreshed. Sometimes aided by a little bit of coffee or an Alani, but still, I'm feeling fantastic when I'm able to take a few days off. Skating back to back to back to back like I did when I was 15, 16, 17 years old. That was great back then, and it served its purpose to build my foundation of skateboarding now, but that's just not me now. It's not possible. And I honestly can't say that I'd love to be on my skateboard every single day. It's just not me anymore. I love my skateboard, I love skateboarding, it's fantastic, but there's other things in my life that I find far, far, far more important than being on my skateboard. To me, the true value of skateboarding isn't spending hours and hours on it, grinding away, trying to get this trick that I'm gonna land one time every 3 years, a trick that I'm gonna soon forget about. I'm gonna be riding on that high of landing it for a few days and then right back to normal like it never even happened. These are things that I come to consider now that I'm older and I can spend a little bit more time in my thoughts. One thing too is I've gotten deeper into the Bible, deeper into my studies. I've found that if skateboarding is really something that I like to do, this video creation thing, it's something that I need to do with all my heart. Not like working for man, but like working for God. It's something that if I'm gonna put my time into it, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm not just gonna half-heart everything upload stupid, boring, simple content. I just can't do that. It's not me. So as you get older, you might find that your skateboard spends a little bit more time in the corner, and that's fine. There's plenty of moments that you're gonna have for skateboarding, lots of time. Unless your time's running out, there's a lot of other things you could be doing with your time that could be more valuable and be more beneficial to you in the long run. It's taken me a long time to realize, but skateboarding's value doesn't come from the amount of tricks I do, the amount of hours I put into it. None of that matters. What it comes down to is the feeling that it gives me. It keeps me fun, keeps me silly, keeps me excited, keeps me up at night. It's a place for my mind to go when I can't find any other healthy avenue for my mind to wander down. When my mind's racing with thoughts late at night, a lot of the times the way I can calm my mind is by thinking about a trick, having a little memory focus game where I think about a trick and I think about what things could go wrong, what my feet would do, how I would fall from it, how I'd brace for that fall. It's a huge mental and physical exercise, skateboarding is. Especially as you get older, it becomes just as much physical as it is mental. When you're younger, I think a lot of it comes down to the mental side. If you think you can do it, you can do it. And that's amazing, that's empowering, it's incredible. Skateboarding is really good at a lot of things. It helps you keep your sanity. And honestly, it's a huge sense of freedom. Skateboarding is freedom. It is creativity. It is self-expression. That's the cool thing about skateboarding. That's one thing that keeps me on YouTube watching these skate videos, especially vlogs. I love watching skate vlogs, not only getting to see someone do tricks that I might not have seen before, doing them in a different way, but everyone has their own way of doing things on a skateboard, and I think that's fantastic. It's really inspiring. So yeah, skateboarding changes as you get older, and maybe that's a good thing. It doesn't have to be the center of my world to still mean something to me. And when I do step on my board, maybe it's been a little while, it reminds me exactly why I fell in love with the sport in the first place. You know I'm not leaving you without your verse of the day.
Hebrews 5:8. Son though he was, he learned obedience from what he suffered, and once made perfect, he became the source of eternal salvation for all who obey him.
Peace out, God bless. I'll see you in the next one.